right, good afternoon. It is 5:30, April 20th, 2026. We're here for this public hearing, RZN 000-529-2026 Elm Street Lot First. And then also the second will be 2023R01 Proposed Text Amendment Rooftop Canopies. Before I do that, a couple things. You notice this is not normal to have 3 council members out. 2 are traveling, could not rearrange, certainly understand that. It happens occasionally, but it's very limited, thankfully. And then we have someone on maternity leave. So you have the 4 of us here today, but we do have a quorum, as we have 4. So.
Quality, not quantity.
All right, I'm gonna let you say that. So, anyway, with that said, just wanted to give you a heads up why there's only 4, and I'll say it again on our regular city council meeting. This is a public hearing. City council shall hold public hearings for those matters required by law and may hold public hearings for any purpose the city council deems appropriate. We've already advertised this, and it's understood to be a forum for people interested in the subject matter to present information to the city council for its consideration as it deliberates an issue. It is not a forum for debate or argument between the council or opponents or proponents or each other. And each speaker shall be limited to 5 minutes unless city council authorizes one extension of 3 minutes. And there are ADA devices right beside Jeremiah. He did his head nod right there. So if you'd like to speak, please sign in and approach the podium. But we'll first start up to see if you and Jacob, you want to give us a quick update? Yes, sir. Thank you, Jacob.
No problem at all. So this is a single lot rezoning. So there's one lot located at Elm Street that is currently zoned office professional district. All the surrounding properties are RM4. The applicant is asking to be rezoned to RM4 like the adjacent properties. This did receive a positive recommendation from the Planning Commission in March. And that's basically it. It would change it from being able to be used as basically an office to RM4, which is a multi-family housing district.
I got one question.
Yes.
So I know where this lot is, and above it is actually some residents RM, probably RM4.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken and an egg, was that at one time office also and then rezoned for RM4?
No, this is a weird one. So I think it was quite a few years ago now, I think it was like 15. It was zoned RM4, and then they got permission to change just this one lot to Office Park, and now we're changing it back.
Okay.
So why do they want to change it to, never mind,
Well,
never mind. Thank you.
No, but
I
it
can
is
figure it
interesting
out.
because they know across the street, that is, I'm assuming, it's all offices across the street from that.
that's correct.
And they said something in the application about it was back in the early 2000s, and things have changed since then,
Yeah.
and that's why they want to change it back.
Yep.
Thank you, Jacob. Any other questions or comments from the public? And I know there was no comments submitted. All right, I'll give it one more minute unless you gonna do a countdown over there, John? I've heard you humming. Okay.
I do have a question for
Yep.
Jacob, if you don't mind, please.
Absolutely.
Changing the zoning, and I'm very sorry I have to keep asking you this. I'm slowly learning this. The zoning is very difficult to remember and learn. To make it RM4, is that what they want to change it back to?
Yes.
And you said it's multifamily. So is that like the townhouses and condos, or can that be an apartment?
It can be apartment buildings with occupancy of 4 per unit. This is our highest density residential district.
Okay, so is 0.71 acre, right? It's not an acre. So would that not limit also what can be built?
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm trying,
You could do like, so, same zoning district is, you know, the lofts kind of going towards the.
Yes.
That's the same zoning district, but obviously you're not gonna be able to fit a project that size there. So the limitations are gonna be due to its size, you still have 1-to-1 parking ratio at that point there. You know, it's probably, yeah, it's a small apartment building, probably 6 units along those lines would be the maximum you'd probably stick there.
Is it similar, it would be similar to the one that's proposed over on this, Kelly?
It could be, yeah. I mean, again, we don't know what will be proposed there. You could absolutely just have a little row of townhouses that would come in. Or it could be a little apartment building. But we really don't know what will be proposed.
Who first asked for, do you know who first asked for the change from the R?
Russ Abear?
Asked for it back in the 2000s?
Oh, yes, he did it that way too, exactly. Correct. He said he was the admin back then too, I believe.
Okay, all right. Just trying to I mean, just like to know the history behind
I think
things.
more than likely it's, you know, what they feel is the highest and best use as far as, you know, potential profit for the property. I think
Yeah,
that
that's
they-
what, I mean, that's what he wrote in the application about, something about the future. What was it he wrote, or did I imagine that? Something about the best use, the property is surrounded by RM4 properties and will be the highest and best use for property in the near future.
Yep.
Okay, all right. And you agree with that?
I think it would be the most profitable use for them, for the property.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Jacob, you might want to just stay up here for a
You
second.
got it.
Are there any other comments for our first topic here for a public hearing? If not, oh, Nathan.
Yeah,
got a
I
follow-up.
want to
Yeah.
add one thing. This was in the future land use map and the comprehensive plan, you'll notice that we didn't change this when that happened, if you look at that in conjunction with this. The reason we didn't, there were probably 3 or 4 properties around town that we thought had been rezoned in the recent past, and we'll consider anything past 2000, the recent past. And so we left them because we thought that those were zoned for a specific purpose. This one's going back. I think actually you're gonna see one of the other ones on 93 that we left residential come up to be commercial as well. We expected that the property owners wanted that for a specific purpose, for a specific time, and now they have reverted. So I just wanted to, that's how staff has squared that with the recent comp plan that passed. So, you know, we don't like to pass a comp plan and then immediately change something, but that's how we have squared these two. Is this was a hole left that, as staff, we actually talked about in that process, and now, as luck would have it, it was the very first thing that showed up after we passed the plan, so.
Thank you for the history. If there are no other comments, we'll go into the second. This is proposed text amendment rooftop canopies. I'm gonna let you, Jacob, elaborate. Yes, sir.
Okay, so this one is only applicable to hotels in the commercial district,
In the what district?
C district, commercial district.
Oh,
Just the C district.
okay.
So it would allow for hotels to do a rooftop canopy that would exceed the height limitation. So, it has to go in front of the Board of Architectural Review, and it would not be able to have permanent sides. It would be a permanent roof structure and then be able to put on temporary sides, that would have to come down within 24 hours of any event. But that is the proposal, is to allow for, and I'll be totally honest, it is, the Shepherd Hotel is requesting this so they can more utilize their rooftop area so that it can be protected from the elements and sun.
Comments, questions?
There was a lot of discussion about this some years ago, and shortly after the building was finished and everything. And so, as well as I recall, I think part of it was safety issues.
Safety.
Because in the way you described this, the canopy itself would be permanent.
Yes, the current proposal, the canopy would be permanent, have to be designed by an engineer and anchored in place. Yep.
But again, it's by the virtue of the way it's constructed, you know, a roof and then legs, and that's it. You still have an opening underneath there. It seems to me that with the right kind of winds, you can take it off. I know what you're saying. It's got to be approved, got to be designed and approved and put up there by the right people to do it. I'm not necessarily say I'm opposed or for it, whether the case may be, I'm just talking about what those arguments were back then.
Yep.
And I assume it's gonna cover the majority of the space as it comes towards the campus. In other words, from, you come up the elevator shaft and mechanics room and all that,
Yes.
it kinda comes towards, campus. And-
That is our understanding of where they'd be located.
Right, so it would probably cover that the majority of that space.
Yep.
Okay.
So I have a question. No, you go ahead.
Good. Oh, is there something you can tell me that it's gonna look like? I mean, already in place with like a type of canopy that I can visualize this? Because I'm not visualizing it very, because you had mentioned something about within 24 hours it had to be,
Yeah, removable panels that come off.
all right, the removal panels, so, so is there anything around Pendleton, Clemson?
Oh, they did.
Central.
The hotel did have examples they presented to the planning commission. I think they are going to be presenting to you guys as well.
Oh,
I don't know if
okay.
they're for discussion or not. They are aware of the meeting, and they're going to, at some point, be presenting to you.
Okay.
But they do have examples of what it'll look like, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me, sorry.
No, no, no.
The panels, so I think the other concern was it's not, it would be a storm that kind of came up unexpected or a storm that came up was much more severe than what had been forecast earlier in the day. So are those panels something that can come down just like that, or is it something that's going to take, or do you, at this point, you probably don't know?
We don't know until we see the actual proposal for how it's gonna be constructed. They, it has to come with a full engineer's report on how to do it. They have to have a wind gauge up there and everything to be monitoring the wind, so they know what they're dealing with, but, no, we do not know how fast it will be taken down this time.
All right, so my question is, it's 24 hours. If it's approved, they have an event Friday night, they have another event Saturday night. How's that gonna work?
They would be able to keep it up in between, because there'd be one event then the other.
Oh, so that 24-hour span.
Yeah, if they have.
But if they
multiple
weren't to
events,
carry it to Sunday,
yeah, then they'd have to take it down, yeah.
take it down and,
Well, conceivably, I know what you're saying.
yeah,
conceivably.
you only have 24 hours.
I mean, you could actually have a Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah,
there are
you
times
could.
where bam, bam, bam.
There's absolutely, that is a possibility. The original draft from last year was 2 hours, but they said they're asking for 24.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
See, that to me, not understanding the structure, I guess it's hard to have these questions, because, again, are those panels something you roll up, or are those panels actually,
They could be either one, how it's written, it could be either design.
Yeah, most of the time you're gonna have, like, the actual structure is gonna be a moment frame steel structure that's bolted to the frame of the building. And that'll all be engineered. It'll just be whatever they use to put up around it and try and keep some of the heat in.
Well, my only concern, I get that part, but, something could, literally blow the roof off of it, come up underneath it, and blow the roof off of it. That was the concern, I don't know how many years ago, it was a few years ago.
Yeah, but the engineers wouldn't let that happen.
Okay.
I built those kind of things
I
so
didn't
that
think
the
Helene was
engineers
gonna
would
do
get
what they
involved
did
enough
either.
to where it ain't gonna come apart, or the engineer's responsible for it.
Yeah, but that didn't do the people on the ground any good.
No doubt, no doubt.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry, you had a question?
No, I asked about that, timing.
When was this talked about before with the canopy? When it was being built?
It was right after
It
it
was
got built.
finished, yeah, right after it was completed. I don't know,
Okay,
I was even on
and it
council
was
at the time.
safety issues at that
Yeah, it was
time?
all
That
about
was,
safety.
that was safety.
There was a little bit of a conversation about the additional water, that the surface, the current rooftop handling the additional water, but I don't see where that's a big deal, other than the fact that you did have it more concentrated coming off that roof into certain areas versus it more spread out. So, that would be it. But I think those were the two issues. With the main issue was safety for the people on the ground. And that was the main issue. And I guess this is the other thing, the shepherd's asking, right?
Yes, this is a request from the shepherd.
Is there any way they can demonstrate the number of events that they have had or missed in the past because of the, or?
Yep, I'm sure we can
because
get
of
that.
not having this?
Well, yeah, I mean, that might be kind of a somewhat hard number, because I think some of that is people calling up and then having to tell them off the bat, we don't have facilities to cover it. But yeah, we can ask about that.
And how is exceeding the height limit, the canopy is? How much is it exceeding it by? Do you know?
I don't think that they set
Oh, it's not set?
no.
Okay. But it will?
It will, yeah, because they're maxed out in their height currently.
Oh, well, okay. Well, then, of course it will. Okay.
Yep.
I didn't realize that. Thank you.
Yep.
So anything they do is gonna
Yeah, otherwise they'd have just built a rooftop canopy structure like into the start with.
Right.
That's the only reason why they're in front of you, is because of the height limit.
Yes,
Would consider
okay.
instead of 24 hours, say it can't be up for more than so many consecutive days. So
Right.
That's what I would-
That's interesting.
A lot more practical.
Yeah.
That seems like a more practical way to approach it.
Because you're
Yeah.
basically,
Consecutive days, something like
Yeah,
that.
you're
I
saying.
could see that we would have to be like enforcement and it would just, it
That
would
way
be a
you can
lot
schedule
easier.
around it. Honestly, that makes a lot more sense.
I mean, you conceivably, this is graduation coming up, they could say, well, we'll just leave it up the entire week, up to graduation, party, whatever the case may be. So at the end of the day, I think you probably want to figure that out, limit that, or whatever the case.
And that's where your booking data would
Right, would have been
come into
helpful.
play, so you know how many
Right.
days is reasonable.
It'd be interesting, because I still believe even now, that rooftop, there's certain times of the year that is probably being utilized right now for events.
It is.
Right.
Yeah.
It's pretty hopping up there.
I know, that's why I say certain times of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I was up there, there's a pack of people up there. And it was, I don't know, a month ago.
I think that's probably, like you said,
If
middle of
it's-
summer is probably a little hot.
Yeah.
If it's not raining,
Yeah.
I think they're pretty active, and most of these places, all the restaurants that I know, they love that outdoor space. And
Oh, yeah.
during the winter, they want the walls up, during the summer, they want them down, get some fans in there, and
Right.
everybody likes that indoor-outdoor space.
Oh, yeah. I'm certain.
Okay.
Thank
You
you.
guys will give me good information to bring back to them and say what they're expecting for the presentation.
Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you. And I'll get to see some examples or visualize it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Comments from the public? And again, no comments were submitted online as well. Correct. Thank you, Jeremiah, for always. And none. If there are no other comments, last chance. All right, we're going to close out this public hearing and we'll reconvene at 6 o'clock for our regular city council meeting.
I don't know if you can do that, you got all these proclamations and people coming, we may have to wait a little bit longer to see.
I can space it out.
There's some
Or
already
we
out
can
there.
space it out, it's not I.
I know
We.
you
Okay, you can space it, all right. We'll reconvene at 6 o'clock.
Gotcha.
Thank you. But
Yes.
Good point.
But it's, yeah.
We're gonna, Tell me when you're ready. All right, good evening. I hope everybody had a great weekend. It is April 20th, 2026. We're here for our regular city council meeting a little bit earlier than normal, but we just had a public hearing with 2 items. You will see that we're missing 3 on city council tonight. This is not normal. 2 are traveling, could not change things, and 1's on maternity leave. So you have the 4 of us up here tonight with our fearless leaders as well. So with that said, we'll start it off. Call this meeting to order and invocation and pledge. Councilmember Evans.
If you would like, please join me in prayer. Lord, thank you for the change in seasons. Thank you for the beautiful spring you've blessed us with the azaleas and dogwoods and irises, and just how beautiful Clemson is in the spring. Lord, I do pray for rain for man and beast as we are dry and need refreshing of your creation. And protect those students and those that are wrapping up the semester and with graduation. Just keep our mind from wandering, and that's when accidents happen, Lord. And also be with us, just protect us and guide us and give us wisdom for the staff and for the council. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. So, it's time. You want to bring everybody in, Julio? That's great. Bring everybody in, and I'll read. We're honored to have the members of the championship team with us tonight. Here they all come in. It's getting quiet. It's all quiet. This is good. This is great energy. We love it. We appreciate it. I know you've been very busy. Wherever you'd like to be, I'll read what's going on. Then if y'all want to say anything, you don't have to, but I'll read. So here we are. We're honored to have the members of the championship team with us today, including ACC individual vault champion Madison Miner. Also, she earned all ACC honors, and Bree Clark, who earned all ACC recognition, becoming the program's first All-American on floor and made history as the first Tiger to compete at the NCAA National Championships this past, latter part of last week. But I'm glad you're here. I know y'all been traveling, so that's unbelievable. So it's great for you to be here. Your success has brought great pride to Clemson and inspired our community. Congratulations on a historical season. On behalf of Clemson, we are honored that you're here. We're going to allow our coaches. Oh, let me read a couple other things just to make sure, just in your 3rd year of competition and your 1st year under co-head coaches, Elizabeth Crandall Howell and Justin Howell, who are over here to my left, to your right if you're facing them, and we're so glad that they're a part of this community. They captured the ACC Gymnastics Championship, defeating 4 top 25 programs and achieving the fastest conference title. Again, I will say that again, achieving the fastest conference title in Clemson athletics history. The team advanced. All around, the team advanced to the NCAA Baton Rouge Regional Final, recording a program best score of 197.150. Unbelievable, close to 200. I know. It was close. So and finished 14th nationally. So we're just very honored for them to be here. Thank you very much. Coaches, you're not required to say anything, but if you'd like to say anything, we just love y'all being here. So.
Well, first of all, on behalf of Liz, myself, and the entire team, just thank you so much for having us here tonight. We got here last June, so we haven't even been here a year yet. And working with these young women has just been incredibly special. They're just making history at every single turn and representing the university so well, and certainly this community. And us being new here, the thing that really sealed the deal for us to come to Clemson were the people. We came to visit the university, and we were blown away by the facilities and meeting the girls. But it was really the people that we met in the department, in the university, and the community that just made us feel incredibly welcome in our family. So thank you so much for supporting these young women, for supporting us, and certainly the Tigers, and we really appreciate being here. Thank you.
I wanted to quickly tell one story that kind of just encapsulates everything that it's about to be in Clemson. We finished competing in the ACC championship in Greensboro at like 10:30. By the time we got out, it was like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And we drove all the way home, got home at like 2:30 in the morning, and we get up in the morning, and out on our front porch, we've got this giant poster that all the neighbor kids had made. Sometime between 10:30 at night and the morning, they had made this Welcome Home ACC Champions poster with streamers and everything on it that we brought into the gym. And I was just like so touched that, like, not that, first of all, that they were even paying attention, that we weren't there, that they were home watching on TV, and that the first thing they wanted to do was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna make them something to show that we appreciate them. That like meant everything to us, and that's how our whole experience here has been so far. So hopefully, if you haven't already been to a gymnastics meet, you can make it out to one in this next year, because we plan on continuing to talk.
Love it. You okay to take a picture?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We're gonna squeeze everybody in.
Well, we just stay behind it.
Squat a little more for the picture, just, you don't have to do it right now.
Look at Bree. Congratulations. So proud of y'all. Wonderful, wonderful.
Anybody else want to say anything? You can. Open floor.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Thank you. Hey, Julio. Hey, Julio.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for having us.
Go get them, girls.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for coming. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I love it when Clemson does
Go Tigers.
Go
Yeah,
Tigers.
go Tigers. Always a happy occasion.
All right, another exciting award here. For the very first time, our finance department has been honored with the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award from the Government Finance Officers Association for the 2025 fiscal year. This award reflects the commitment to meeting the highest principles of governmental budgeting. In order to receive this budget award, Clemson had to satisfy nationally recognized guidelines for effective budget presentation, including a policy document, financial plan, operations guide, and a communications device. There are over 1,900 participants in the budget awards program. Another special shout out to Sarah, who's here, welcome. Administration Finance Director Leslie Wilder, and the entire finance team, who some are here, so we greatly appreciate y'all being here, for all the hard work putting the budget together each year. Another thank you to all of our city departments for putting in a lot of time and effort during the budget process. Their contributions don't go unnoticed. So congratulations. This is the heaviest award. Like, I'm getting a workout. It's all good. So yeah, do you want to pass it around?
Oh, wow, you are kidding.
So I see the 2025, but I noticed there's a lot of spaces in here. So this is for years to come. High expectations, right?
Congratulations.
We'll come around for this one. Who wants to hold the heavy one? Leslie, you up for it? You up for it?
Congratulations.
Come on. Sweet. Thank you. Thank you. You don't have to stand. It's a great award.
Another
Well
happy
deserved,
occasion.
awesome.
You're good occasion. It's great.
All right, we're very fortunate also. Sonia, you ready for me? Okay, I gotta put on the glasses, it's a little small print here, so, okay. All right, so we got, this is a proclamation, I'm gonna read 3 different proclamations here. But first is Crime Victims' Rights Week, which is April 19th through 25th. Whereas being a victim of crime and navigating the criminal justice system can be frightening and confusing experience, National Crime Victims' Rights Week is an annual commemoration that is dedicated to promote victims' rights, services, and support, and to inform about victimization and the effects it has on individuals, families, friends, and the community. Whereas honoring the rights of victims, including the rights to be heard, to be treated with fairness, dignity, and respect, and working to meet their needs rebuilds their trust in the criminal justice and social services systems. Whereas individuals' trust in the compassion, understanding, and support of their communities is achieved through sustained, deep-rooted, and coordinated outreach, identifying, reaching, serving all victims of crime, especially those from groups that are often less access to services and avenues of justice, is essential. Whereas the City of Clemson Police Department's Victim Services Program, led by Sonia, provides free services to help reduce the short and long-term effects due to violent crimes for those distressed, and is dedicated to strengthening victims in the aftermath of crime. Whereas justice isn't properly served until crime victims are. Now, therefore, I, Robert Halfinger, Mayor of the City of Clemson, do hereby proclaim April 19th through April 25th as National Crime Victim Rights Week in the City of Clemson, and encourage all citizens to join City Council in thanking our Clemson Police Department and the Victim Services Unit who work to safeguard the members of our community, and witness whereof I hereunto set my hand and have caused the great seal of the city to be fixed this 20th day of April 2026. Thank you for all you do, Sonia. Thank you, Chief. Also, between the two of y'all and many others that are part of this, thank you very much for the team effort. So, I'm going to also read, we also have proclamation here for Child Abuse Prevention Month, April 2026. Whereas South Carolina's 1.1 million children residing in diverse communities across our state are our most valuable resource and have shaped the future of our great state. Whereas childhood trauma, including neglect and abuse, is a serious problem affecting every segment of our community, and finding a solution requires input and action from everyone. Whereas effective child abuse prevention activities succeed because of the partnerships created between child welfare professionals, education, health, community, and faith-based organizations, businesses, mental health, law enforcement agencies, and families. Whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community and partnership to build awareness about child abuse and neglect and contribute to promote the social and emotional well-being of children, youth, and families in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment. Whereas the blue and silver pinwheels displayed during April or throughout the year stands as an uplifting reminder that all children deserve a happy childhood and future. Now, therefore, I, Robert Halfinger, Mayor of the City of Clemson, do hereby proclaim April 2026 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the City of Clemson, reaffirming our dedication to protecting children and strengthening families all year long, and witness whereof I hereunto set my hand and have caused the great seal of the city to be affixed this 20th day of April 2026. We also have one last proclamation here. It's a proclamation for Sexual Assault Prevention and Awareness Month. It's also in April. Whereas sexual violence is any unwanted sexual contact, including sexual assault, harassment, or abuse, which can occur in a person online or through emerging technologies such as non-consensual sharing of sexual images, according to the National Sexual Violence Research Center. Whereas consent is a clear, voluntary, informed, and mutual agreement to engage in sexual activity and must be freely given, can be withdrawn at any time, and cannot be attained through force, manipulation, threats, or intimidation. Whereas Sexual Assault Prevention and Awareness Month calls attention to the facts that sexual violence is widespread and impacts every person in the community, and seeks to raise awareness of sexual assault and violence through education and intervention efforts. Whereas even with over 53% of women and over 29% of men reported experiencing contact sexual violence. It remains one of the most underreported crimes. Whereas this year's theme, 25 Years Strong, Looking Back, Moving Forward, celebrates the resilience of survivors and the communities that work for change. Now, therefore, I, Robert Halfacre, Mayor of the City of Clemson, do hereby proclaim April 2026 as Sexual Assault Prevention and Awareness Month, and encourage everyone to wear denim on April 29th, coming up, for National Denim Day with survivors. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the official seal of the City of Clemson to be affixed this 20th day of April 2026. Sonia, would you like to come on up? All right. I don't know if Chief's coming. He may be hanging out in the back, you know. He's waving. So I'm gonna give you, well, actually, these are your originals. Yes, there we go.
Yep.
You want to say anything? I know you probably don't. You're quiet like me. You know. But you can. Yeah.
Just thank you for your continued support for the victims throughout the city of Clemson and beyond. Without the support, it would just be a little bit harder than what it is. It's not always easy, and it doesn't always go in the victim's favor or the way we want it to go, but we just keep pushing and just keep going.
Thank you, Sonia.
I've seen the pinwheel display. It's very beautiful.
Hey, we take a picture? Yep.
Oh, yeah, guess we
No,
did.
we're good. I just didn't know.
I-
I always wait. Yeah, okay, Sonia. We're good. Come around. Why don't we each hold one? There you go. There you go.
There.
There we go. You don't get to hold one, sorry. Sorry.
I'm not that one.
Sweet. Thank you. Good to see
Thank you. You too. Thank you.
Appreciate it. And our last recognition tonight is something that's bittersweet. This is for Karen Carter, and she has some of her board members here, and we're very, very thankful. And I know, Vicki, you're going to come up and say a few things after I read this recognition of service. If you didn't know, I'm getting ready to read the details here, but whereas Clemson Community Care is a local nonprofit community that works in collaboration with local religious, civic, and educational and private agencies to support low-income families and individuals, providing food, rent, and utilities assistance to help them overcome periods of financial crisis and become self-sufficient. Whereas Karen Carter has spent most of her life in Clemson and has worked with Clemson Community Care for 19 years. Again, 19 years. First as a board member, then as the program director, and now the executive director. Whereas Clemson Community Care distributes an average of 1,600 pounds of food daily. I'll say that again, 1,600 pounds of food daily to our neighbor, which added up to 360,701 pounds of food distributed to almost 4,000 families. It's actually 3,952 families in our service area in 2024. Whereas in addition to food assistance, Clemson Community Care assisted an additional almost 1,300 families with rent, utilities, and other services, including the annual back-to-school workshop and supply giveaway, holiday turkey giveaway, and holiday gift assistant programs, these daily. Whereas under Karen's leadership, Clemson Community Care has won numerous awards, including Tri-County's Community Partnership Award, the Chamber of Commerce Nonprofit of the Year, and the 2014 Abernathy Cox One Clemson Award. Whereas Karen has been recognized for many years as part of the Pendleton High School Transition Program team hosting the transition class students in the food pantries during the school day. Whereas at the end of April this month, Karen will officially retire from her position as executive director, enabling her and her husband Jerry to relax, travel, and visit their grandchildren. Well deserved. Now, therefore, I, Robert Halfacre, Mayor of the City of Clemson, on behalf of Clemson City Council, congratulate Karen Carter on her well-earned retirement and recognize her dedication and heart for service that has been crucial to Clemson Community Care's success in providing assistance to our neighbors in need and instilling a feeling of comfort and hope in these individuals, the impact of which cannot be truly measured. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and have caused the great seal of the city to be affixed this 20th day of April 2026. Congratulations, Karen. And Vicki, I believe you're going to come up and read some things from the board, or is Lauren? Okay. You're good, if you're good.
I write better than I talk, so I'll just kind of read some of my thoughts. Thank you for doing that. It's well-deserved. As you said, for over 2 decades, Karen has been the face of Clemson Community Care. First, as you said, the program director and also as the executive director. I've had the pleasure of working with her for most of those 20 years. First, as the guidance counselor, seeking her help for students and delivering food drive food to her, then as a pantry volunteer, and finally as president of the board. As a resident of Clemson, Clemson Community Care is something I'm most proud of. It's supported mostly by our local people in individual donations. That says a lot for the city of Clemson. You've heard how much has been accomplished. Karen has been behind and leading in these successes. She never misses a chance to share the mission. If you ever had an opportunity to go anywhere socially with her, you find that you're waiting on the sidelines as she is speaking to someone to offer thanks. To a donor for their money, a volunteer for their time, or an organization leader for acknowledging their help for CCC. Her passion and pride is contagious. She has spent countless evenings and weekends with groups who want to volunteer and groups of children running boisterously through the pantry while she models the importance of service and caring. I think her Sunday school class at Clemson United Methodist Church may be one of the happier people for her retirement, because she has recruited them numerous times to help her on these weekends. Karen has gone from a single mom during her time at Clemson Community Care. Wait, I got ahead of myself. Those who know her best knows that she wears high heels all the time. And we tease her about her high heels. I asked her one time, why do you wear those high heels every day, even working in the pantry? And her response was, our clients deserve this level of professionalism. And I think that interchange with her best describes her work in our community. She has treated everyone she's come into contact with in her capacity with respect and dignity. No donation is too small, or a need too frivolous. Her ability to work with other nonprofits has even advanced their missions. She really does play well with others and other organizations. The TRIO committee, for that annual fundraiser, is a good example of that. Importantly, I think she led us through COVID, assuring very little break-in services for our clients. And she did that with a staff of 4 in an organization that usually relies on about 100 volunteers a week. And she did that throughout the years of COVID. She also has moved CCC into a more technologically based organization. Now you can give donations online and through Amazon delivery. She herself created the QR code for that, although I did accuse her of letting her daughter Allie do it, but she did it herself. As with most of us, many life changes occurred during her time. She's gone from a single mom to happily married to Jerry with a blended family of adult kids and their spouses and a handful of grandchildren. And even though she recently lost her sweet mom, she has carried on through all of it. Karen has been a large part of hiring excellent staff members. Because of this, she is leaving CCC in good hands under the direction of Lauren Russell, our new executive director. Karen is modest. She doesn't want to take credit for anything good that's happened. I wish she could be here. I know she listens and watches the city council, so I'm hoping that she gets to hear this great honor that she so deserves. She's not here for you to thank, but I know she would appreciate a thank you card, maybe with a donation in it in her honor to Clemson Community Care. She trained me well. We do wish her nothing but the very best in her retirement. Lots of travel, fun, and grandkid time. We love Karen. Thank you.
So, thank you, Vicki.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other board members? Kelly, would y'all like to introduce yourself? And Lauren, would you like to introduce yourself officially to everybody if they don't know you? You just got recognized too, so in your new role.
I'm Lauren Russell. I know some of you from Clemson Community Care already, and I have served as a program director for the past 4 years under Karen. She's prepared me well, I think, and I've really enjoyed working with many of you and serving alongside you, and I look forward to continuing to do that. So thank you for your support.
You're quiet, but we appreciate it. We'll still take a picture if that's okay. And yeah, the board. Any board members, please come up. Yep.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say something.
Yeah, they're running out of time.
I see John Peters just got here too.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You want to hold that, Vicki?
Yeah.
There you go.
Lauren, come on.
Don't be so modest. I'm trying to be so. You can't do
She is taking every care.
You've learned well. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you. Yep. See you. Help all us.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Rob.
Very well deserved.
Absolutely. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for coming out. Okay, I'll do it.
There's the podium back.
I could have gotten that. Okay. There you go. Look at him. He's on it. So while we're waiting real quickly, just out of curiosity, if you're here for a student class, please raise your hand. Love it. That's great.
So can I ask a question, being a professor? Is this your last chance to get the extra credit? Yeah.
Okay. Last. What happens?
I know all too well. I know all too
What happens
well.
if this meeting was canceled? If you didn't hear at the beginning, some of you came in a little late. We normally have 7 of us here on City Council. We have 3 out tonight, so this is not normal to have. But you got a strong crew up here.
Quality, not quantity.
Well, I love it. I'll just let you keep on saying that. So I know the board's still, they're talking out there, so.
Yeah, there.
Okay. All right, we ready to go? All right, so next I'll go into public session. Normally we'd have the Mayor Pro Tem. That would be under me now, responsibility. So with that said, this is the 3-minute opportunity to share anything up there. I will refer back to obviously, I know I really almost shouldn't have to say this, and I know everybody will respect these rules, but just make sure that this is an opportunity to share comments. You do have a 3-minute limit on this. When you come up, please sign in. Jeremiah's got it, I'm pointing, which I probably shouldn't do, but to the right of Jeremiah up there, sign in, state your name, where your address is, and the floor is yours for public session. I will also remind everybody that we have ADA devices by Jeremiah as well, if you need anything from a listening perspective. So we want to make sure everybody can hear any comments. And the last thing on public comment, this is anything that's not on the agenda tonight. So this is your opportunity to talk about anything that's not on the agenda, because there will be opportunity to talk about each individual agenda items as well. So the floor is yours.
Robert Lee, I live at 113 Preston Drive. I only have time for the beginning of this idea that I had tonight, but you may have heard of, and I thought I wouldn't speak, but since the students are here, I hope maybe it piques some curiosity of them about freedom of speech and opinion and censure versus censor. The automation in here always wants to translate it as censor, but the real difference. Anyway, you may have heard of a thing called a citizen's arrest. That's a more official thing, but what I am planning to do is I'm calling it a citizen censure, which is really no different than saying I can talk freely about someone's opinion as long as I'm addressing council as a whole and about behavior, but in the third person, I think I'm free to do that. So I'm planning to do that in the future. I won't start that tonight, but the actual process. But this thing that really got my curiosity is the lawsuit that the city's under, the Watt versus Clemson lawsuit, which I see basically as a free speech issue that Watt is claiming the city is not free to have its speech, to make its opinion known by a resolution. Now, the resolution thing is a opinion. It's a statement of an opinion. And I think if of any word, there's one word to look at that, it's opinions can vary in specifics and all, but one word for all resolutions. Anyway, the city has made many opinions about resolution in the past, including Councilmember Watt and Smith, and there's never been a objection to the process of making an opinion known by anything, whether it's anything else. So censure is done by resolution also. It's an opinion just as much as any other resolution is an opinion. So now, the way I see it now, when I look back at everything, the Watt claim of abusive process started right in here at the hearing with Councilmember Smith, basically not being responsive to the issue, but claiming, when you sort through it all, saying that the process is invalid now that she disagrees with the issue. So she's not going to take part in the process, instead saying it's invalid, you can't do this because there's no due process. So the due process, though, that was the due process during that hearing. So I'm running out of time, but I'll look at so Robert's rule says what's the standard of proof? So what I found, I try to find this here, in Robert's rules, what is the standard of proof for due process for a censure? And Robert's rules says moral conviction of the truth of the charge
Right, Mr. Lee.
of the people.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
I'll be
Appreciate
back.
it. Yes, sir. Thank you. Other comments? Well, I'm waiting. There was one submitted online, so I'll read that. Good evening. My question for the council this evening is, why do we use the word consider when you are voting on items under the policy action section? If you consider something, you are thinking about it carefully, not voting on it. Maybe some other wording is needed. Thank you. This was from Stephanie Platt on 103 Mountain View Lane.
Robert,
Yes.
can I address that?
Sure.
I just think it's a good question, and when I saw it today, it made me think that when Jeremiah and I go over the agenda items in our software, we look at the language and all the things that are submitted, and when it's on discussion, we'll put discuss. When you're making a decision, we use consider, because it doesn't apply a positive or a negative outcome. And we're just trying to make that worded objectively as possible.
Thank you for
So
that.
there's a lot of thought that actually goes into using that one specific word.
Thank you for that clarification.
Makes
Yep.
sense.
Appreciate it. Other comments?
Thank you, Rupert Kigeti, 206 North Clemson Avenue. I guess the point I want to make is that when there's an action item on the agenda for the city council, it's only normal for people to have their minds made up. And a lot of residents really don't come here because, well, they just feel that their voice really is not being listened to. And it kind of maybe falls on the heels of what Stephanie said. So I'm just trying to figure out, how do we solve that problem where there's the sense or real consideration of what the residents are saying? I know that there's a lot of pressure, and rightly so, on development. Okay, we have to live with development, understand that. But there needs to be some other process where the public, the residents, feel like they're coming here and they feel like they have a purpose. Now, it could be just because they're against one development. Okay, they're against one development, but I'm just saying that there's a lack of resident participation in this governance. And we need to maybe think about not having people speak right before there's a vote, because the mind of the person, the mind of the city council, and maybe rightly so, it's already made up. So that's one point. The other point is, I'm going to change gears here, about AI. Half electricity in the United States, half electricity in South Carolina is being used by AI right now. I talked to graduate students, they're using AI. Maybe some of these guys are using AI for their class. And AI is, whether you like it or not, it's here. I call my doctor, I'm talking to AI. The city though, not so much AI. They're not early adapters. And it can save money. It can save money in finances. AI, Claude Opus, very powerful. And AI is going to change the world. And this city needs to start thinking about implementing AI for their decisions that the city council makes. You can feed all the data into Claude Opus or whatever AI system you're using, and it can give you back an opinion that is very thorough. The reason we're spending, the entire stock market is jacked up is because of AI, because people know it's going to replace jobs. It's going to have an impact. It's going to be big. So I encourage the city of Clemson to look in, have their tech guy look into it, say, hey, what can we do? For example, FOIA request. If it's $200,000, maybe a FOIA request can be done for $100 with Opus AI. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
May I address one of his comments, please?
Absolutely.
Mr. Rupert.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't know your last name.
Magiti.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. I wanted to address your first comment about the residents not having any input.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think that you need to be aware that the city of Clemson has more public hearings and more available time for the public to speak to the city council than any other municipalities in this state. You have public hearings in the planning committee, you have public hearings before us, at least one, and we have 2 to 3 votes that you come and make your opinions known to us. So for you to say that the residents don't have an opportunity to speak, I will agree to disagree with you that I do not see that. I see that you have a lot of opportunity, and that doesn't count the phone calls and the emails that we get as city council members that we have been responding to. So,
Can I respond to that?
no, sir. That was my time.
Okay.
I will also add that there is a accusation that is running around social media that I don't, everything is preordained, and I come here with my mind made up, or some of us come here have already made our decisions and we don't listen to anybody. And that is absolutely untrue.
Very much so.
I come in, I listen to people, I go out of my way to contact people, I contact citizens, I talk to citizens of other towns, I listen to our local citizens, I talk to experts, I talk to our staff, and I try to do the best thing I can for our town as a whole. And there is never a point where everything is preordained and nobody tells me what to do. The idea that people are not heard because things don't necessarily go their way is a fallacy. It's simply not true. Everybody here is working diligently to try and do the best thing we can for our town because we love our town.
All right, other comments? If not, I will close out public session. Last chance, all right? Next, we'll move into the possible approval of minutes from April 6th of 2026. Would somebody like to make a motion?
Second.
Comments or discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you very much. I've got to make sure I see everybody tonight. Okay, yeah, all right. So next we'll go into reports and discussions. 2-minute limit per speaker. First is to discuss the rezoning, possible rezoning of Elm Street lot. Nathan, are you gonna, Jacob? I saw you on there, Nathan, sorry. Jacob's coming up, so there we go.
Yes. So for anyone who wasn't here for the public hearing, this is a lot that had been zoned RM4, that in the early 2000s was zoned to office professional district, and now they're asking to be rezoned back to RM4. RM4 is a multifamily housing district with an occupancy of 4, and the lot in question is about 0.7 acres and is surrounded by other RM4 zone properties.
No, council. I had the opportunity to ask questions and comments at the public hearing, but do you have any other further questions?
I just out of curiosity, since this owner was RM4, went to commercial office space, then wants to go back to RM4, and the area around it is RM4. Has the area around always been RM4, or have they swapped back and forth as well?
Well, I'd have to
Or
go
did
back.
I ask the question correctly?
No, yeah, I
Okay,
understand exactly
okay.
what you're asking. I mean, I don't know fully historically, but at least for the last 30 years, it's been RM4.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Other comments? Comments from the public? All right, Jacob, you might as well stay up here, because next is to discuss the proposed text amendment for rooftop canopies.
Okay, again, we went into a little bit in the public hearing, but this is a proposal that would allow for rooftop canopies that meet certain guidelines to exceed the height requirement. This only is going to be applicable for C-zone properties that are hotels, so only hotels and C-zone properties. The structure itself would have to meet all engineering standards and have to go for the Board of Architectural Review for appearances. The current proposal, and this was a applicant proposed, not driven by staff or council. This was asked for by the hotel itself. Their proposal, though, is to have the allowed to have signs for 24 hours before and after an event. There's things that can be modified, but it would have to go for a board of architectural review for the actual structure itself and how it looks. But the engineer would go with the structure itself. I guess, do you have any other questions?
Any other questions or comments from the public?
How many feet are we talking about above the height? You said the hotel,
Well,
the one in
basically a
question's
story,
at.
so
huh?
you're thinking
I'm
about
sorry?
One story.
One story,
Yeah,
okay.
one story. So, I mean, you're thinking probably around 15 feet to the peak
Okay.
of it?
Yeah,
I just was trying to visualize,
Yeah.
you said that we would see
Yes.
proposals when they come before us, okay?
So it'd be something like enough room to have a covered dry area outside on top.
Yeah, and probably high enough that if they wanted to hang heaters or a fan up there.
Stuff, yeah.
We won't knock our heads on it?
With enough pitch for rain too.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Robert Lee, 113 Presley Drive. I'm just curious if the condition of the use, if it includes conditions for, say, setting up an amplified rock band or music in an area where that might be noise disturbance. So I'm just wondering if that's a conditional in there.
It is
Just something to
currently,
think about. Thank you.
it is currently not in one of the conditional use standards.
Say again?
It is not. The music is not, correct?
That's correct.
So it'd be treated like any other music
Like
anywhere.
anything else
Yeah.
downtown with it, okay.
But there's nothing in this separate from the current noise ordinance.
So they could in fact have a DJ up there?
Yes,
But they could now.
they can now.
They just have a roof over the DJ.
Oh, okay, okay. So we haven't had any complaints then?
Yeah, they have events up there currently.
And the noise ordinance goes in effect at 10 or 11?
I mean, it could, I mean.
Where's Chief?
The north,
Chief still here?
It's in effect 24 hours.
Well, it's in fact for 24 hours. but-
Oh,
The lower standard goes into effect later at night.
okay.
understood. So it's 24 hours, but at night, the standard is much lower when it comes to the noise level. Okay, gotcha. And no complaints so far from, okay, good.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Robert, you good? Okay. Thank you again, Jacob. All right, if there are no other comments, we'll move to the next is to receive a presentation regarding the Green Crescent Trail. Well, John, do you want to lead it off? Do you want to set the stage up? Yes.
In the role that I'm in now as a liaison with the Green Crescent Trail from Councilman, and I'm not the only one, there is one from Central and also one from Pendleton. But I felt like, considering what I have learned in the very short period of time I've been involved, that this is a presentation that I think this council needs to hear, and from a directional perspective, where they are, where they're going to go, and the things they've got kind of planned for the next 12 months and beyond. So Chad and Heidi are here to do that.
Gonna hang out here for a minute.
Okay, right ahead.
I'm Chad Carson. I live at 213 Lark Circle, so I'm a resident in Clemson. I'm also representing the Friends of the Green Crescent Trail. We're a nonprofit. We've been in town for 10 years now, 10 plus years. And I want to talk to you about some current updates on the Green Crescent Trail from our perspective as a nonprofit. Also a campaign we're calling the 15 by 30, trying to get 15 miles by 2030. But before the updates, I wanted to start with a thank you, because some of you are newer to City Council, others of you have been on a while. But there's a long list of, I think, very forward-looking decisions that the council and the city administration and city staff has worked on. So I just want to start with that point. Andy might have a more comprehensive list than this, but back in 2016, the city council was one of the funders of the feasibility study that got the Green Crescent Trail started. The Green Crescent Bridge was opened on Berkeley Drive. It was opened in 2017. That was a major funding project in part by general funds, I believe, or hospitality funds plus grants. Phase one of the trail, which starts at Clemson Park and goes all the way to Gateway Park, was funded by the city council. The city council funded 100% of the trademark for the Green Crescent Trail, which our nonprofit owns the trademark, but the city of Clemson was the one who was forward-thinking to fund that for us back in 2021. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Andy, there's been an annual budget allocation for the Green Crescent Trail for many years now. And then there was a recent, in 2023, a bond that general funds put towards the Green Crescent Trail.
And then in 2026, both Berkeley Drive and College Avenue pedestrian improvements been ongoing with decisions. So I just want to put that as a background because a lot of what I'm talking about today has been built on many decisions the City Council, particularly Clemson City Council, has made to fund this. So I just want to say thank you for that because it's a really big deal. For those who haven't heard the origin story of the Green Crescent Trail, there was a group of students at Clemson University, architecture students, who came up with the name. It was a concept probably 12, 13 years ago. And the Crescent Line is a pedestrian, or is a passenger train line that still today runs right through town. Clemson and Greenville are the two, as far as I know, pedestrian stops in South Carolina. And my wife and I actually, when we lived on Lindsay Road, right near there, we took the Crescent Line all the way to Washington, D.C. one time, overnight train. And so the idea was that there was one of the original transportation hubs in Clemson was this Crescent Line. And so they came up with that name, the Crescent, and then the next part was really the roots of a lot of our communities and the nature and outdoors and the experimental forest that surrounds the town and the parks that we have and the Lake Hartwell. So green and nature was just a really big part of the idea of connecting our town with nature. So the part that this is my personal origin story for this. I became very motivated as a volunteer and working with a nonprofit. This is a picture of my daughter who's now 13. This is when she was a lot younger than that, over 10 years ago. And I used to push her in the stroller from my house in Delwood subdivision, trying to get to Ashley Deering Park, Tottie's Place, that area. And I was very frustrated because I would try to cross the road. There was, first of all, not a sidewalk. There wasn't an easy crossing. It was just difficult to get about a half a mile from my house to the park. And I figured that my frustration was probably shared by a lot of other people, and I started going to public meetings. We had our comprehensive planning meetings, and I got involved with the town, and a lot of other people were there too. And a common theme that came up at that time was, we have an amazing place, we still have an amazing town, we have an amazing location, but the connectivity from a pedestrian and biking standpoint was lacking. There was a lot of gaps there. And so I and some other local citizens just asked, is anybody working on this? And the only answer, the city planner at the time, Jennifer Foltz, said that there was a student group who had come up with the idea. We talked to a professor, and the rest is history. There was a lot of community meetings, there was a feasibility study, but I think that story to me demonstrates a lot of what the motivation. This is a very grassroots movement from the beginning of people who live in town, community members, visitors, who just want to make it easier to walk and get around town, to bike and get around town. That's really the origin for me. The vision for the Green Crescent Trail, if you go to the next slide, please, is, I think the key word that we've been trying to emphasize is a network. So this is a transportation network, a recreational network. It's a network that includes the city of Clemson, but it also, I'm going to show some of the other locations, it includes connecting to Clemson University, to the town of Central, to Pendleton, to the parks in between, and I'll show some examples of that. But the network idea is really important, and we, along with city staff, last year met and proposed an idea of trying to crystallize a goal of having a 15-mile network by 2030. And as John likes to remind me, he said, I think we're very close to actually doing this. And we have a spreadsheet, and we're looking at the routes, but I looked at it today, just in the city of Clemson, with the current projects that are underway, at Berkeley Drive, at College Avenue, some other, potentially Highway 93, it would be, I think, 11 to 12 miles just in the city of Clemson out of those 15 miles. So a really, really big accomplishment with what's already been done and what's already in progress. So what are connections? A lot of people think about the Swamp Rabbit Trail. They think about just the separated use paths, which are definitely the gold standard. It's what we always wanted, something separated from the road. But to be practical, this is also going to include other types of connections, protected bike lanes. You can see one on Frontage Road is one example of a protected bike lane. Sidewalks, especially in the interim, if you need something before you can implement a full connection. And also low volume streets. So one example of this is on Rippleview and Brooks Drive on the phase 1 of the Green Crescent Trail. This is a very low volume, not a through street, and we've been able to use that as a connection between two parts of the town through signage and through marking to show this is a shared space. And so that's another example. If you don't mind going back one. But I think the common theme that I want to mention about what this network, what we hope this network is, two things. One, that it's consistently safe for people outside their car to get around, particularly on feet, walking around, but also people biking, rolling.
And then the other thing is, the important part is what it connects to. So on either side of that connection, whether it's a park, whether it's a downtown, and I want to talk a little bit more about those connections that we hope in the 15 by 30 plan to connect. So first and foremost, 3 towns. It's really unique that we have 3 communities so close to each other. The city of Clemson, the town of Central, the town of Pendleton. And we've also been working hard, and we see our role is to be a liaison between all the communities, and that's really going well, and I feel like we're at an all-time high in terms of collaboration and communication between all towns. The next one is 3 campuses. It's also unique that we have Clemson University right next door, Tri-County Technical College in Pendleton, and Southern Wesleyan University in Central. Parks and green spaces. I don't have the exact number of parks that the Green Crescent Trail could connect to, but most of the parks in the city of Clemson could be connected through walking and biking paths. And these are really, you can think about these as linear parks, connecting the parks and spaces. And then importantly, small business owners. One of the things that really, as a small business owner myself, really impressed me about like some of the other trails. If you look at Travelers Rest, and you see the before and after of the Swamp Rabbit Trail, what happened to a small town in Travelers Rest was almost like pouring Miracle Grow on the small businesses downtown. You can see that reflected in the hospitality taxes before and after the Swamp Rabbit Trail. But it's really difficult being a small business owner. It's difficult to get people to come into your store, to your shop. And so having a pedestrian area, when people walk or bike, they also buy ice cream. They also stop at a restaurant. They spend their money there. And so this could be a really important thing for our downtown merchants and other Patrick Square merchants and other merchants who touch the Green Crescent Trail. And then last but not least, of course, residents and visitors. My kids both walked almost every day when they went to Clemson Elementary. We would walk them across the pedestrian bridge to the elementary school. You see dozens and dozens of kids doing that every single day. And then we want to have that all over town, not just in one spot, having people walking, biking, using the downtown spaces, and making those spaces more vibrant. This is my own quote, but I think this is one of the most important projects of our generation. I think 20, 30 years from now, people will look back and say, this is an amazing investment that we made in our community. And the reason why, the next slide is, this is really an intersection of 2 major types of projects. It's a recreational project. This is definitely people getting out and moving, and it's very much like a park, but it's also a transportation network. And when you combine those 2 things, just a few of the benefits, it improves quality of life for the community. People want to live here, people enjoy their community more. Traffic mitigation is a challenge as the community grows. It's not to say that everybody's going to ride their bike or take a scooter around, but students certainly do and will, the safer it is. But it has to be safe for people to be able to do that. I'm one of the weird kind of pioneers who will ride my bike all over town, but most people don't do it unless you have a very safe path. And our motto that we've adopted from other people is you want to make it safe for 8-year-olds, you want to make it safe for 80-year-olds, plus and everybody in between. And it's not the people wearing spandex riding the Tour de France that we're trying to target. We're trying to help people who don't feel as comfortable, who need to have it safe. A couple more things. This is also a sustainability and equity project in addition to that, because a lot of people don't have cars to get around. And so if you're trying to get to work, if you're trying to get to the grocery store, and you can walk or bike, that changes the game for you when you don't have a car to do that. I'll mention real briefly the roles and responsibilities. We get asked a lot as a nonprofit, are you building the trail? And my answer is we have really good partners in our public, in our towns, our universities. And so the roles as we see them is the towns are first and foremost in charge of planning construction. They own the trails. So the city of Clemson owns the trails that are built in the Green Crescent Trail. Have also been working on getting the easements, the grants and fundraising, and the maintenance. The counties and states have been involved in grants and fundraising. SCDOT owns a lot of the roads we're building trails along, so they're definitely very involved. And then also ACATS, our regional transportation planning organization, is an important source of funds and planning. And then our role, we see it, and we're always open to feedback on how our role can make sure we're supporting the town and what we're doing. We see our role as a regional coordinator between towns, between entities. Very importantly, we also think signage, branding, and maps is a big part of what we try to bring to the table. Grassroots community building. As the trails are now being built,
getting people out using them, having events, having education, having social media to tell people about it and to get them out there is a really important part. We see ourselves as building the movement of the Green Crescent Trail that goes along with the actual pavement on the ground. And then, of course, we also want to always support the town in getting easements, grants and fundraising, and then maintenance and volunteers. We see our role as really helping organize people who almost like adopt a highway, get out and do work days and help the town and making sure we show that we want to maintain the trails that we're building. So two updates, requests and updates for you. One is the city staff's working on a sign standard for basically for the whole region for the Green Crescent Trail. And I think has another forward-thinking project that the city's working on. And we've had an advisory board meeting with Town of Pendleton and Central. And so far they seemed very receptive to the idea of having a common sign standard between all of the towns, all of the universities. So I just want to make the ask that as that moves forward, as staff moves forward with that sign standard, to support implementing those signs on our existing places. There's some existing paths that don't have signs yet, and also on all the new paths that are built this year to put signs, wayfinding, logos on the pavement. That's a really important way to let people know that you're on the Green Crescent Trail. That's one of the main feedback we've gotten so far is that where is it? Where do you get on? Where are the trailheads? And so we feel like 2026 is the year to really sign the trail network, get people out there and know where it is. I think I just talked a little bit about that. I want to turn it over to my colleague Heidi Williams, who's another founding board member, to talk about one event that we have planned this year that we're really excited about in the city of Clemson.
So I'm Heidi Williams, 221 Heather Drive. And I'm going to pause for a second and tell you my why, because I am the opposite of Chad in almost every way, which most of y'all know me pretty well, but he's the spandex biker, goes anywhere he wants to go. I like safety, I like signs, I like maps. So this is a really perfect blend of our two talents. And my why is my husband and I have always walked and run. We ran earlier. We do a lot more walking now. We have two daughters. One is in college. She is running in college. The other one is looking at colleges, looking to run there. But the ability, the difference between where they can go out and actually exercise, even between like now and as recently as 3 years ago, is so different. And that's because of these connections. It's because of these trails that we've opened up. So we feel like we have a lot to celebrate. I love the Green Crescent Trail. I love everything around it. I love getting people together to talk about it. And so we wanted to come up with a signature event that would allow us to both celebrate the work that's been done here in the city of Clemson and also to just sort of be an illustration of that connectivity and networking that we're really creating. So we have done some work with the organizers, the people who own and the people who manage Patrick Square, and John, who has been a great addition to our board as an ex officio member, was also instrumental in some of those early meetings. But we have gotten buy-in from Patrick Square to be able to host our first signature 5K event. And like a lot of things Green Crescent Trail, we think it's going to be kind of different. We want it to be different and fun. So rather than having a morning 5K on a weekend, what we're going to do is have what we call a twilight run, which you might have seen glow runs or things that are happening at night after dark. It's going to be a little bit safer because we're a little bit safer. But going from basically when the sun is setting until it goes down, having a 1 mile run and a 5K run over at Patrick Square, and Gotta Run has already worked with us to map out a 5K route, and we have gotten some great buy-in from Sunnyside Cafe, which I don't know about you guys, but breakfast for dinner is a simple pleasure of mine, and I have always dreamed of Sunnyside opening up for breakfast for dinner, and they have agreed to do so for the Green Crescent Trail. So proceeds from that will be going back to some of these trail and networking events. But yeah, just really excited to be able to host this, and we've got some things in the works in terms of trying to get some public safety and stuff like that set up, but we are really looking forward to being able to both celebrate the trail and the trail builders, which are the people who are in this room. So thanks.
A couple of things, the date, maybe you should tell them the tentative date.
Oh, so hang on, I gotta put my readers on if I'm gonna give you information. So the date of it is Thursday, September the 17th. It's the UNC home football game that Saturday. So some people start to roll into Patrick Square a little bit early. We're really hoping to be able to push out some of our marketing so that we can pull in people who are coming from out of town for the game. Our goal is 350 plus participants. We know that we have parking out there for about 500. That would be a great goal to hit. And we're roughly looking at from like 6 until 9 p.m. We've got a meeting set up this week with the folks over at the Rotary Club. They obviously do a great job with their Cupid Shuffle. If none of you have participated in that, I highly recommend it. So, yeah. Was there anything else?
No. The only thing I was just going to add, that in addition to the Berkeley piece, which is really kind of right there, almost, it's about happening, it's going to be happening real soon, is that the connection from Nettles to Berkeley through the easements there that are essentially, we're waiting on the signatures, but I mean, they've been agreed upon, so that piece should then be able to go through the properties from Nettles across over there into the, what do you call the orchard, the orchard, through the orchard over to Berkeley and the parks and everything. So that should be, I think, a part of what will happen in 26 as well.
It's going to be great. And really having that extra length is going to make such a difference. We were at senior night for the high school track meet this past week, and it was really cute to hear all of the seniors. They share their favorite memories. And a couple of them said their favorite things to do, their favorite memory of running was going over to the Swamp Rabbit Trail, doing their long run, and then grabbing a big thing of their very own stecca, and which is like this long, crazy loaf of bread, and just eating stecca after they run. And so I envision that once we hit that 15 by 30 mark, you know, our kids will be talking about going and grabbing bread from All In or something else. Like, we want to keep them here. We want to keep, you know, we want to keep their dollars and their persons in Clemson if we can. And the more trail we get on the ground, the better chance we have of that. And just the other thing I have in my notes here is, just so that you know, you have 4 months and 27 days until race day. So it is never too early to start training.
Listen, I'm never too early to start.
Also, Chad and Heidi and myself try to meet every 2 weeks, and I'll also come back and meet with Nathan and Lindsay and others, Nathan Hinkle and Lindsay and others, and just trying to keep everything kind of moving forward.
So there is one thing you just said about, and someone asked today about Berkeley itself. We're going to have it paved while we're still doing the sidewalks, so the paving will actually probably be finished, and we'll continue working on the sidewalks. I'm seeing the head nod from Nathan Hinkle, our city engineer, but we're working very, collaboratively with South Carolina DOT. Just want to make sure that there's some, I won't say confusion, but someone asked, is it all going to happen simultaneously? It's going to happen over time, but we're excited about that. So, but the paving will happen during, and probably, it will be finished before the sidewalks.
Sure. All right.
Did I say that properly, Nathan? Close enough. He's like, yeah, close enough. Cool, thank you.
Thank y'all. Thank you so much.
Any comments from the public?
So the 15 by 30, or 15 miles.
I'm sorry. That's how it works.
I knew I shouldn't have said it. Herb Fowler, 143 Fulton Street. The 15 by 30, is that 15 miles in the city of Clemson or 15 total miles of the Green Crescent Trail?
15 total miles between all three towns.
And currently, there's 11 miles in Clemson.
I probably didn't say that very clearly. With the projects that are on the ground, plus the projects that are about to be under construction, there'll be approximately 11 miles in the city of Clemson.
Okay, is there additional mileage already under construction outside the city of Clemson?
Yes, the town of Central has a project that's also a partnership with the DOT. It's happening on Highway 93, connecting where the caboose is in Central, almost to Southern West University. That's one project that's been working on a long time. Pendleton has been working on some more nature trails in their area, so it's a little bit different product, but they also have some mileage coming online there. And then the town of Central also has a shorter trail right next to the rec center that they're working on to try to connect the rec center to where the disc golf course is.
Okay, so how many miles in Central, how many something miles in Pendleton currently committed?
About a mile and a half.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
And what I just gave Herb was what y'all put out on the Green Crescent Trail on the social media was the the wording on that on the 15 by 30, so that's what I just gave him. So it's on y'all's social site, which, thank you for putting that out there. Any other comments? All right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. I knew that.
It's all good. We'll take it, well, we won't, just kind of hang out. So how long do you have to be here to get credit for the class?
Good question.
That's a good question. You've been here over an hour.
So do you have to,
I'm taking notes on my phone.
Oh, there you go.
do you have to write something up?
Yeah, we have to write it like at least a page, or less than a page. So not that much, but.
Come on, you've got enough material already for half a page, don't you?
3 pages.
There you go. Like I say to a lot of people, you're more than welcome to stay if you feel like you've satisfied your credit to stay here. You've learned a lot, hopefully, and seen how it goes. So please, yeah. I know you probably have exams to start studying for soon, so, yeah. All right, we're back. Sorry. You remember when you leave, we said, I know, you gotta, I know, I'm not gonna say anything. All right, Leslie, all right, have a great evening.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, so next will be, Leslie's gonna come up and discuss repealing the ordinance in section 711, expenditures, purchasing and receiving, and asking counselor to consider a new complete procurement policy and purchasing card policy.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. So I'm going to kind of give you some backstory. So all of our expenditures and purchasing rules are laid out in the ordinance section 711. And when I started in 2021, so 5 years ago, Andy was new to the interim city administrator. I was new. We knew that there were things that needed to be changed. We changed some of our procurement policy, and over the years, so much has needed to be changed, but I am not an expert in purchasing. I know enough to follow the rules and to make some recommendations based on some past experience and some other jurisdictions around us and in my past life. So our goal was to hire a purchasing or a procurement coordinator and then follow that process of letting their expertise get us here. We had a procurement coordinator for a year, and he worked on it some, and then Jordan came on and had a lot of great experience and knowledge and brought that to be able to write the policy and what it would take to go from not having it in an ordinance to having it as a policy would mean we would need to repeal the ordinance and basically have what we've developed as a really in detailed purchasing policy, and I feel like it's really what the city has needed for a long time, and it will hopefully go in the future and help us and not have to be changed a lot in the coming years. But being a policy makes it a little easier to change. And the things that you would want to change would be the thresholds, because as time goes, we know that when I started here, our thresholds were like $1,000. That Andy, the city administrator, would have to approve every purchase over $1,000. Well, that kind of really ties some hands on trying to get work done because you're waiting on approval. So we moved those thresholds up. And this policy moves those even further and gives the departments a lot more flexibility, and I think that's a lot of what y'all have heard. I know we hear it all the time, that we are tying their hands because purchases have to be approved by city administrator. So the policy is in the hands of the departments right now. It's the final draft. We will have a copy to y'all as soon as we get our comments back and we make any adjustments based on what they've said. So this is basically letting you know that at the next meeting, we will have the first reading of the repeal of the ordinance. And then at the next meeting, which I think is the 18th of May, we will ask you again to consider to repealing the ordinance. And then at that time, voting to consider the new procurement policy. And at that time, I am, and I hadn't 100% asked Andy this, but, and the other leadership team, but I would like for it to be, to go into effect July 1st. That gives us time to train everybody, because it's a lot of changes, a lot of understanding of purchasing methods versus thresholds. There's a lot more in this policy than we've seen in our ordinance. So that's the first piece of this. And then the second piece is the purchasing card policy, also to go into effect July 1st is my recommendation. And you guys had approved to go to the purchasing cards. This is actually just the formality of what they can use the P cards for, and what their thresholds are even within that, and what they can and can't purchase with a P card. So, any questions?
The actual policy will be on the May 4 discussion.
Yes.
Any questions? Very thorough, thank you, Melissa. From the public? Oh, no, from the public? All right, well, we'll move to staff reports next. Andy?
We need to schedule a budget work session with council, and I have one date that I hope you all say yes to. If not, I have two other options. We think this will be around half a day, gonna be a little bit different than years prior. We're gonna have your 7 goals and priorities that you set at your budget work session, and talk about how we're meeting those goals within the budget. Look at Thursday, April 30th, in the afternoon, like 1 to 5. I have 1 no. I checked with Councilmember Smith and Cheryl, and they're both available that day, not the other days I chose.
You're not available?
No, that's hard no.
I start exams, so. What were your other dates?
Monday, the 27th in the morning, 9 to 1, or Wednesday, the 29th in the afternoon, 1 to 5. The caveat is we have to have it done by May the 4th in order to advertise how we need to advertise before July 1st.
27th, you got that city, that's Clemson meeting, always
That's at 3.
that's in the afternoon.
Yep.
You said the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe right now I could do the 29th.
What about the others?
I'm booked at 5 on the 29th, and then before that, I'm good. Other than that, I'm open for all the dates.
Okay. So Thursday,
He can get you out of here by 5.
What time on the 29th?
1 to 5 is what we had, but we can change that up.
I mean, I could possibly move that back. It's just PT.
Well, I'm giving the exam that day, but I think I can,
What about the 30th?
I can come in a little bit late.
Good for the 30th?
No, but it's exam week. So I can do it on the 29th, I can do the afternoon. I might might be a little late.
And I'm out the 29th for, it's 10 at the top. It's a 10 at the top board meeting. I can't, it's an only in-person meeting on the 29th. So if John,
Sorry,
she can't do
I
the
gotta,
30th.
it's exam week, I gotta be there.
So Robert, you said no on the
29th is my
no on the
only,
29th.
just pick a day at a time, and then if those of us, and many as possible.
We have the most.
Yeah, so on Thursday, we would have Councilmember Smith, Cheryl, Jones, Robert, no Lillian, no John Earl. So I think that's the most we could have. So we'll say Thursday, the 30th in the afternoon.
1 to 5, okay. And if they get finished and at 1:30, I will come.
Perfect. And we'll provide the materials.
Okay. I'll do all I can to get there whatever time I can.
We'll even have food here for you. You won't have to stop for lunch.
Tasty food.
There you go. That's
And others, we'll just have to sit down and go over things with them individually, which we're happy to do.
That's all I have.
Thank you for working that out. All right, cool. Nothing else. All right, next is policy action. Just a reminder, it's 2-minute limit per speaker. First is consider second reading of amendment to the city's FOIA policy. Andy.
There's been no changes since first reading.
Comments, questions, comments from the public? Would somebody like to make a motion then?
I'll make a motion, we approve the second reading of an amendment to the city's FOIA policy as presented.
Second.
Okay. All right, any comments or discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you very much. Next is consider second reading of a 2026 R02 proposed text amendment, mixed-use high-density development. Nathan, do you have anything to add at this point?
Nothing's changed since this last presentation.
All right, any questions or comments from council? Any comments from the public? All right, would somebody like to make a motion?
I'm gonna try. Can I try? I would like to make a motion that we consider the second reading of the 2026 R02 proposed text amendment for mixed-use high-density development.
Second.
Okay. Comments? All right, all in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you very much. Next, to consider first reading for the abandonment ordinance for a portion of Stone Circle. Nathan.
This is following up from the discussion we had last meeting for the small section off of Singleton Street near Stone Circle that was remnant from when 76 was widened. So, any questions?
I forgot, what were we gonna do?
We're abandoning a small section of roads, a spur little, that doesn't even have road base on it anymore. It's just it's just an old right of way.
Okay, I was just, okay. Thank you.
Thank you for clarifying again. All right. Any other comments from council? Any comments from the public? All right, would somebody like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the first reading for the abandonment of ordinance for a portion of Stone Circle.
Second.
Comments? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you, Nathan, for also staying up here because you got two more.
Yeah.
Next is consider a resolution adopting the Clemson area long-range transportation plan.
This is the same plan that was presented to y'all during the last meeting. Nothing's changed on it.
This is the one now with Anderson versus Springfield.
Yeah, so this is the joint regional transportation plan that was Anderson County, Pickens County, Clemson University, and city.
That's right. Okay. I thought so.
Other comments from council? Comments from the public?
Who's paying for that?
I'm sorry?
Who's gonna foot the bill on the transportation system?
Just come on up, yeah. You can come on up, yeah, you're good, you're good, you're good, just.
I want to come up. Okay, yeah, I had a question. Where is the funding for this? I'm all in favor of this. Is the funding, is that federal funding or state funding? When you talk about this long-range transportation, does it include buses?
Yes, so bus services were included in the transportation study, and then the funding source is unfortunately an answer of yes. So this is going to be submitted to ACATS for them to include in their long-range transportation plan that they're going through right now. That's state and federal funding, and then it might include some local funding depending on the project type and size.
Okay. How much funding are you talking about for the transportation?
It's dependent on gas tax.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you both. All right. Any other comments from the public? All right, would somebody like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we consider a resolution adopting the Clemson Area Long Range Transportation Plan.
Second.
It's kind of tie there. All right. Comments? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you very much. Nathan, your last one. Consider a resolution adopting the Safe Street and Roads for All SS4A Safety Action Plan.
And so this is the action plan that was in development between the city and Clemson University facilities groups, so working together on that. This approval tonight will allow the university to actually go in and work on an implementation grant as well, so kind of in the funding partners between the two of us. And it's going to be a shared use on, their implementation grant's going to be on Highway 93 is what they're applying for.
All right. Any comments from the public?
Robert Lee, 113 Presley Drive. I read in the article, it mentions lighting. I think about improved lighting was one of the things. And I could, having traveled someplace, I've seen, there are places around town now that the lighting at intersections, I'm blind, and I'm pretty good with night vision, but whether I'm walking in my car or on my bicycle, and there's lighting, but it just is not designed. And I looked into these firms that specialize, they're theatrical motion picture lighting designers that specialize in urban lighting. And I've been places where it really makes a lot of difference. I mean, that may be more specific than for now, but I hope that's what I can forward those links. But there might be money now to get with a really professional lighting designer for a relatively low cost, get a really nice lighting design. So that's one.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Because there's parts in the city when it's dark the way the good Lord made it to be dark. I'm telling you, it's dark.
I was just going to express my support and excitement for this S4A program. I was on one of the, I don't know what we were called, advisory or discussions committees, but in terms of the Green Crescent Trail, I think this is lots made of paths and sidewalks, but intersections and just all the little details that were covered in this study are really, I'm very optimistic if we can get a lot of these implemented. And my understanding too is that a lot of the funds flow once you have a plan, just looking at Greenville and some of the things they've done. So just want to express support for this and gratitude again for implementing it.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right, would somebody like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we consider a resolution adopting the Safe Streets and Roads for All, SS4A Safety Action Plan.
Second.
All right, any comments? All right, all in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you, Nathan. Thank you. Have a great evening. Next, we'll go into other policy items. First, consider sponsorship applications. Andy.
The only difference in what was presented the last time and this time is that we were able to track down Miss Clemson, not the young lady, the person who runs the nonprofit. That's about that. Because they didn't turn in their application by the previous deadline, and they just made a presentation. So we think there was some lost in the translation there. So we do have that now. Request that they submitted is, as it always has been, it's for $5,000. You basically have 4 options, and when you do your motion, you would need to include whichever you want to do for them. One would be, you obviously have the right to say no funding. Another is to just straight up fund them through this. One is to ask them to apply for the accommodations tax grant, or the other is to refer them to the nonprofit endowment for nonprofit support once that's set up after the first of the year.
I think considering the lateness for the request and the fact that their fiscal year is close to start again, I think any kind of change in direction right at this stage would not really be fair. And I would propose that we go forward what they've requested right now, and then as we move forward using the foundation on some of these other fundings as we go forward, I think that then next year could be looked at differently by them, not by us.
I agree.
Other comments? What's the plan after this, if it is approved? What's the plan on the communication side of this?
Want us to notify which projects were awarded and at what level?
Well, I'm more specifically talking about the conversation with the endowment. Giving them a time frame and.
We're gonna workshop.
Well, you have a workshop
We have
coming up May 4th.
May 4th,
And
so
then we'll be right on track.
after that.
That's perfect. That's where I was, okay. I'm just trying to make sure these.
No, there's not gonna be a big gap.
But these nonprofits know, okay. That's all, just the communication side. Okay, cool. Other comments? All right, comments from the public? All right, would somebody like to make a motion? And
I'll make a motion that we consider the approval of sponsorship applications as presented.
what you need to add?
Plus the addition of the money, the $5,000 that was asked for by the Clemson pageant.
Ms.
It was
Clemson.
Clemson pageant.
A second.
All right, any comments? All right, all in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you very much. Thank you, Andy. Chief, been waiting a long time. Next, consider authorizing city administrator to sign an agreement with Clemson University for
Councilman
recovery research, yes.
The agreement that's in your packet is the same agreement as during our discussion. We had one change. The university asked us to remove a liability clause, which was reviewed by council, and they had no problem with it. So that's the only change to the original.
Any questions for Chief? Comments from the public? All right, would somebody like to make a motion?
I make a motion, we consider authorizing the city administrator to sign an agreement with Clemson University for the opioid recovery research program.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you very much, Chief. You're on again to consider authorizing yourself to sign a memorandum of understanding with the Clemson University Police Department.
Yes, with the changing of the chief of police, the previous agreement was with our Chief Mullins' name. Now the new chief is in place, and it's time to sign a new one. And per the municipal association, they want us to bring all of these mutual aid agreements before we sign them. So that is why we're here. But there is no change to the agreement. It's a standard agreement. I correct myself. The previous agreement had some provisions in it that have been removed, and the current agreement that's on file is the standard agreement. That's pretty much the same agreement across the state.
Who's the new chief?
Jason Bruder.
Who?
Bruder.
Okay.
Jason
Thank-
Bruder.
It's been on board 3 months?
I started January.
Oh, wow, okay.
We've had a memorandum of understanding. This is just essentially a renewal.
And the change
No,
in
this
the
is
name.
change in the chief.
The change,
But only because of that, that's the only.
Right.
Yeah, that's right, because of the change in the chief, we're having.
So I'm realizing something here. I apologize. I hope I didn't put it in there. I think it got changed. This is not, it's a mutual aid agreement, not a memorandum of understanding.
uh-oh.
Yeah, I thought it established a rate for officers.
No, that's different.
This is
I understood this.
City of Clemson.
Establishing the hourly rate for officers.
Yeah, I thought it said
mutual
50.
aid.
Like in the packet, it said
That's
$50 an hour was the established rate.
Then I suggest you put this back on the next meeting agenda to make sure that we're crystal clear on what.
Okay, so there were 2 documents that were sent. If this is as submitted, is my misunderstanding, because I thought this was the mutual aid agreement.
It is the mutual aid agreement.
That's not how it's on the agenda, though.
Oh, okay, okay, well, the materials in there were the mutual.
So I submitted the mutual aid agreement because that's what I have to sign.
Oh, but it's not that way in here.
The other agreement is the annual agreement that Andy's referring to for extra duty and the rate of pay for football games and other things. So the document you have in your packet is the mutual aid agreement.
It's correct, but it's not.
Correct. And then the other agreement, we would have to
need to.
Yeah.
I want to clean that up and just do them
Yeah.
very clearly.
So it'd actually be 2 items on the next agenda.
Thank you for explaining both of them, and if you can't be here, we certainly understand.
Withdraw this request until we can correct it.
Thank you,
We'll
Chief.
table it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Last item on other policy items is consider authorizing the city administrator to enter a contract with Creech and Associates for property and growth needs assessment in the amount of $132,000. Andy?
We have $75,000 in this year's budget. The project will be completed in the early fall. So we're going to add the other $57,000 to the FY27 budget so we can have the full amount at the time when the work is complete.
Questions or comments for Andy? Comments from the public?
I'm sorry, the group that was coming, are these consultants that we're paying this dollar amount to?
Yes.
And this is an example of what I stated when I first spoke. This is something which people think AI is not real. People think AI is not here. Well, it's here. And for $100 a month, we can sign up with AI to analyze something like this and give us results. Pay AI $100, then pay these guys $130 and see who's got better results. The guy that you paid $100 to or the guy you paid $132,000 to. We need to start thinking about cutting costs in Clemson. I think Herb Tyler would agree to that. He likes to say, if you're going to spend here, you're going to cut over there. So Herb Tyler would say, well, where are you going to cut to get that money? That's all I would say.
Thank you.
I read the proposal and what they're talking about. It's pretty intensive.
Yes, it is.
The entire assessment between the current valuations,
Yeah.
the establishing use patterns.
And the expertise of the people doing it.
Yeah, and they did Apex and Asheville and
Lead.
a number of other towns. It'll be a very comprehensive inventory so that we can actually get a really good plan moving forward.
It also includes a 10-year implementation strategy.
Yeah.
Other comments? All right. Somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we consider authorizing the city administrator to enter into a contract with Creech and Associates for a property and growth needs assessment in the amount of $132,000.
Second.
Comments? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right. Thank you very much. Next is mayor council reports and comments. I just have one. There's a community blood drive, and they're working on parking to make it easy, but it is on campus. It is Tuesday, April 28th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it's on the Blood Connections site, but it's from, again, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Just keep that in mind. Let's see, 221 Epsilon Zeta Drive, so it's basically near Sykes, right? Right? I'm looking.
That
Yeah.
was off the perimeter, but I have no idea.
Oh, is it off perimeter? That's right. Okay. Well, that's on the Blood Connection site. Yeah. So. Yeah, one of the students tell me. Where's 221 Epsilon Zeta Drive?
I think it's in front of Tillman.
Is it in front of Tillman?
Is it in front of Tillman?
That's
Okay,
what I'm
you're
sure.
right.
Thank you. Okay. That's what I thought.
Thank you.
So I
Thank
think, I think the university's coordinating where you can park behind Lake Sykes for that event. So Tuesday. So it's next Tuesday. So 8 days from now. But that was it. Oh, last thing I will say, while we have students here, I think there were over 900 participants in the RC Moon Pie on Saturday morning, raced from the President's House to Esso. And I will tell you, I did it. And you have to eat 2 moon pies, drink RC Cola, before they let you go any further on the mile. It was the longest mile I've ever run because you feel like you're gonna throw up, but I'll leave it at that. But I made it to the SO, and anyway, you get rewarded for that. So kudos to the students that put that on, and I know they raised money for giving rings to people that could not afford them for graduation, so kudos to the students for that. Any other comments? Any new business? All right, would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor, raise your hand. Yes. Thank you very much. We're adjourned.